know this as the zombie hand Halloween prop, and if you read on most sites that sell it, they will even admit that it's inspired by Thing from the Addams Family, but as we all know, Thing is not a zombie, so we had to fix that. We bought the Halloween prop and then used white paint to cover the zombie green, and now he looks far more like himself as Thing. You could think of Thing dressing up as a zombie for Halloween, but I just think he looks better in his natural state. So if you would like a Thing prop, they do sell like antique ones that are maybe 5 inches, but if you want a bigger one, I would say get this hand Halloween prop, which I will link below in the description, and then paint it with white paint. Is really simple. You have to paint over it and put a finishing coat on it, because when he moves, because of the fact that it can flake off, you need to make sure that it's thick and that it will stay, because he moves, and the covering for him is like a soft rubber to allow the flexibility of him to move, and the movement would eventually chip off the paint if the job isn't done well. If you're all new, check out our spooky playlist. If you're not new, hello. And I mentioned to a friend that we were going to explain how we did the brief DIY to get a more realistic Thing for a Halloween prop, and she was interested in seeing our other Addams Family figure collection, and so we're going to briefly show that. A lot of people have already reviewed these on YouTube, so I'm not going to go through all the posability and all that because it's been done a lot, but just a brief showing. These were the figures from the cartoon in the early 90s. It's so weird, there are so many figures of the Munsters, and these are figures from the original show, and no one ever really did Addams Family figures from the original show, and I was really surprised because they're just as popular, if not more. And I'm glad the cartoon figures exist, but I was surprised that none existed before that. It's just really strange. Or after, that they weren't put out after, because to kind of keep up with the Munsters. I don't know what's up with that. Another interesting fact that I find interesting, the two little spooky girls were the two that never got action figures, and that's Wednesday from the Addams Family, and then Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice. They kind of could have been good friends, I think, and both lines never included an action figure of the girls. Burger King had a toy of Lydia and Beetlejuice kind of morphed into one on each side, and it's just a little rubber toy, but I wouldn't really call that a figure, and that's the closest that came out of Lydia, and that was a while ago. I never saw it. I just read about it online, so that's just interesting action figure info. This is our figure collection. We're missing Pugsley. We'll get him eventually, I'm sure, and as I said earlier, Wednesday was never made. Thing and It were never made. They were supposed to be in the next series with Wednesday, and they never came out, but they did come out in cereal box form, and Thing was just so small I didn't get him, but we do have Cousin It from the cereal box version that came out around the same time, because he is to scale with these other figures. He's a little shorter, which I think is nice. It's always weird when someone puts out, like, let's say a 5-inch set of action figures like these, and they make everyone the same height when they're really not. It's like odd. So they did well with Cousin It. He's a flashlight, but he's a very cute Cousin It. I don't know if I like the sunglasses. I guess that's like a modern throw, and I'm not really a fan of that, but it's okay. It's what it is. I would prefer him without the hat and glasses, but again, I think they should have made old school versions. And then you have myself, beautiful Morticia, with, they all come with little versions of Thing, and Thing is holding her stems because, you know, she prefers headless flowers to flowers with the flowers on. So it's like a little miniature scaled down Thing with the flower stems. And these are all posable except for Cousin It, because he was just a little flashlight toy. I did see Thing, a friend had him like way back in the day when I was a kid, and he's kind of made like It, where he doesn't pose, and around the same size. Some people are still selling them on eBay in the cereal. If you buy it, do not eat the cereal unless you want to get really sick. So the next one is a charming one of Gomez. I think he's fencing, and he has Thing giving him his chest piece of armor. Very kind and considerate of him. And that was the figure that our ghost messed with. Maybe we'll leave our paranormal videos below. The last one, after we finally cleared out the house, it finally stopped, was when the Gomez figure was moved like several rooms away in the hall when no one was home. That was interesting. But anyway, next we have darling Grandmama stirring her cauldron, and Thing is giving her her stir stick. I love the cauldron. I love the work on the cauldron. It's nice and detailed, and she's so witchy. She even has the cute little witchy boots. And we reviewed her when we got her. She's actually one of the few that we did review a while back. We'd already had the others before we started the channel, and I saw so many people reviewing them I didn't want to do a repeat. So, and then we have Lurch. And I almost forgot him. Dear old Uncle Fester. Sorry, I'm knocking stuff down. They stand relatively well, but as you can see, sometimes if they're mildly disrupted, they can fall. But they're sturdy, so that's good. Last but not least, Uncle Fester. And we got him used, so I don't know what he came with, which accessory. Should have been a light bulb, but who knows. So those are, as requested, our Addams Family figures. We hope you enjoyed the Thing DIY, and if you make your own, like I said, it's not that hard if you just apply several coats of paint and a finisher so that it won't crack off when he is moving. And those hands can be bought easily online. We'll leave a link, and we've also seen them come out as Halloween props in stores. So, until next time,
stay spooky, my friends.